Hello, guys. Doing something different today. We're doing it in public. Yeah, why not? I woke up. I slept really good last night, and it was actually amazing. Like I had full state of sleep. I didn't wake up. I was so happy when I woke up this morning. um, Today, I just want to talk about just going with it. Rolling with the punches. Because life they throw things at you. They it'll in Rocky's words, it'll beat you. It'll beat you down to your knees and keep you there if you let it. But like I always said, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how much you can get hit, how hard you can get hit, and keep going forward. And I think there's like a lot of truth in that because the thing is, there's so many things that we cannot change. There's so many things we can't help. You know, it's like so many things we just can't control. And you know what? Put this here. Hopefully, it doesn't sound too bad though. Hopefully, it sounds alright. Should I risk it? I don't know. I'm liking how the video's going so far. I think I'm not gonna risk it. Sorry for the ear rape. But like I was saying, there's so many things we just can't control in life, you know, and so many things that we just can't help. We can't uh, change, and it's not about how, like, it's not about what we get thrown with. It's about how we react to it, and like, what's our reaction going to be to it. And I think that's a very important lesson to learn for everyone. There's like so many things that just happen. Like, let's say your car breaks down, or like someone breaks up with you. There's so many things that just happen, and you just can't control, and you just like you just end up beating yourself up about it, and like you end up like I guess like feeling bad about yourself. And it's not really like, if you think about it, it's not really like fair to do that. You know, it's it's kind of like, it's like, imagine, like, that saying, like, don't cry over spilled milk, right? It's already gone. It's already spilled. So, like, why would you cry or complain or feel bad about someone's reaction that you can't really control? Okay, like, it's different if you had a play in it. It's different if you had a hand in making them feel a certain way, or making them act a certain way. But like, let's say you did pretty much everything right. Obviously there's always room for improvement, obviously. But like, let's say you did everything right, and um, you try to communicate as much as you can, or you try to do everything you can to prevent something from happening. It doesn't have to be with someone. It could be with just like something that happened. Excuse me. And things still go south. I mean, what can you really do at that point? You have to put it in you know life's hands. Whatever you believe in. I believe in Allah. Put it in Allah's hands. Put it in God's hands. You know, you just can't just beat yourself up about it. And um, like I was saying, like, you can't cry over spilled milk. You can't put the milk back in the carton. You know what I'm saying? You literally can't. So it's the same thing here. Like, if you can't put milk back in the carton, it's already spilled. Then why are you trying to fix things? Why are you trying to fix someone or fix something that just doesn't want to help themselves or help you fix them? You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to fix the situation, but it's not meant for you, bro. You know what I mean? It's just not meant for you. Um, and and the thing is, like, we're human. You know what I mean? So we have ways of like dealing with it, ways of coping, I guess. And I think one of the ways of coping is like trying to, for a lot of, especially a lot of men, we try to take responsibility for everything, for our actions and for other people's actions. Because if you're not like taking responsibility, then you're not really in control. You're putting in control in someone else's hands, and that can be seen as a good or a bad thing. Obviously, if you're not taking responsibility, then and it's out of your hands, then you can't really complain about how it's going. But at the same token, if you're taking responsibility, then you kind of control what happens, at least in your head. You know what I mean? But so yeah, I guess it depends how you look at it. But personally, like no matter what way you slice it, no matter what way you look at it, it's like some things are just out of your hands. So and it's just important to remember that you can take accountability for everything you've done, and even like if things go south, you can take accountability. But you take accountability for the things you can change. Is what I'm trying to say, basically. I know I'm just babbling, I'm yapping. Yeah, you could just take responsibility for things that you can change, and it's I don't know. Like okay, for me, for example, like as you guys know, as I said earlier in the earlier videos, I was seeing this girl, and things were going fine, and then things weren't going fine because she changed on me. Now I can't take accountability. No, I can't blame myself for the way she changed. You know, whether she was gonna change or not is not in my control. You know what I mean? Because so it was up to her at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Her actions are her choices. The same way my actions are my choices. But in the same hand, the same way to look at it, or I guess a different way to look at it would be, yes, I can't blame myself for what she did, but I can blame myself for how I reacted to what she did. You know what I'm saying? I can blame myself for even what I did before what she did. You know what I'm saying? Like like I don't know. I hope it makes sense, but I'm trying to make it work. uh, yeah. Well, I guess what I was basically saying was, yeah, no, like I can't blame myself for what she did, but I can blame myself for like what I did after, basically. Like let's say she said something, right? I can blame myself for taking it personally. I can blame myself for like letting it ruin my day or letting it ruin, my vibe. You know what I mean? Or I can also blame myself for investing too much in one person. You know, even though I think personally I did things the right way, I still ended up investing in the wrong person. You know what I mean? I say that a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I just ended up investing in the wrong person. I ended up investing my time, my energy, my love in the wrong person, and I think that's it's inevitable. Things happen, life happens. You can never know who truly is like your person, your other half. But like that's how you learn. You just do things and you fail, and then you do them again, and you probably fail again, and you do them again. But, but yeah, I could take responsibility for that, for how I reacted in those situations. You know, and the best thing I could do right now, and the best thing I think you could do right now, if you're struggling with a similar situation, would just be to try to live with it. Just try to cope in a healthy way though, cope in a realistic way. Don't cope into thinking like someone's gonna come back to you, or don't cope into thinking like that girl's gonna text you back. You know what I'm saying? Or it's magically like maybe if you text your friends, it'll fix something. Nah, if it's not meant for you, you'll know it. You can just feel it, and I feel it right now, and I felt it before I broke up with her, and I like the shirt a lot. Look kind of big. Uh, but yeah, like if it's not meant for you, you'll know it. And maybe you won't know it. Maybe you'll get deceived, but at least try to learn from it once you come back from it. You know what I mean? Like eventually, if you're being deceived and it's not meant for you, someone's not meant for you, you'll find out eventually. And when you find out and it feels like, yeah, you know what, they're not meant for me, then don't lie to yourself. Don't try to cope. Just like go with it. You know, listen to yourself. Listen to your mind. Listen to what your body tells you. Um, things like that. I think it's very important that we listen. We listen to our minds more. We listen to our bodies more. 'Cause we have these natural tendencies. You know, we have these natural thoughts, these natural habits, even as humans. You know, biologically, everything like that, and we just don't listen to them anymore. We don't. We choose not to listen to them. You know, we don't have time to listen to them anymore. Like we're literally so occupied with everything. You know, work, school, you know, relationships with your parents, your siblings, your spouse, your girl. You know what I'm saying? And like even like hobbies like this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And social media. Oh my god, social media. We're so occupied now. You know, we don't have time to just sit down and think. You know, and it's starting to become more of a trend. Like not a trend, but it's starting to become more of like in people's thoughts and like like they're actually sitting down and like even meditating and thinking and things like that. But it's still not like mainstream. I think it's like having quiet time. Even just like reading a book. It's not exactly mainstream like it used to be. Now people can just scroll. They can watch like a movie that has cuts every like 2 seconds or a TV show. You know what I'm saying? And like they'll pick the movie, but they'll never watch the movie. Like they'll just be picking the movie for like half an hour. They never know what to watch. And it's like, yeah, we have too many choices, bro. We just need to sit down and just think to ourselves, like, man, what the fuck? What's going on here? What do I want? I have so many choices, but I don't even know what I want. I think that's very important to know what you want, sit down, think with yourself, write about it, journal about it. Oh, I thought I turned it off for a second. Write about it, journal about it, everything. I think then like it'll be uh, more clear with like what choices you want to make. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do in certain situations? Excuse me. I started praying for recently, like not recently, but like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Started praying consistently. Started praying again to Allah, and like life has just been, obviously, like I was saying, like you have ups and downs. A lot more things happen than just with this girl. In my family, things happen. You know what I'm saying? At school, even at work. But like when you pray, you just feel it like, man, this is not in my hands. It's just kind of like a feeling of relief. Like this is not really my. No more mic. Yeah, but you get this like sense of relief. Like yeah, this is not really in my in my hands. It's really in God's hands, in Allah's hands. Uh, and it's kind of like yeah, I could do whatever I can do to the best of my ability, and then the rest is up to my Creator, my Lord, my Maker, and that's not a bad thing. It's a sense of relief. You kind of like you get like a weight off your chest in a way, and yeah, I don't know, it's just very nice. God, he does things for a reason. He always does things for a reason, and like there's so many things we take for granted, and there's so many there's so many flowers we haven't smelled yet. That sounds so gay. I promise I'm not a faggot, guys. Um, but um, yeah, there's so many flowers we haven't smelled yet. Uh, there's so many stories we haven't learned about. There's so many stones we haven't turned over. You know what I'm saying? Like so many things we haven't done. So many like not just big things like your dreams, but like little things. People you haven't talked to. things you haven't experienced. So like, and it's like, even if you're like in your 50s or your 60s, there's still so much life to live, you know? And like everyone is blessed differently, you know? Everyone has different blessings. Some people have more blessings than others, and some people are less fortunate than others. But there's still something to take out of life, I think, you know? And I don't know, it's a matter of perception, you know? Like my parents, they come from a very um, like war-driven background. You know, they come from a very like very dangerous background. You know, they grew up in a war. They grew up, you know, seeing uh, death at such a young age. You know, not just like death getting shot, but like death of, you know, being blown to bits. Their neighbors, their cousins. You know what I'm saying? They were blown to bits in front of them. Things like that. It's just not something a kid should see. It's not something a kid. Sound like Tony Soprano. It's just not something that kids should see. You know, there's things that kids shouldn't see, and they didn't let that deter them. You know, they came to this country. You know, they immigrated here with their either by themselves or with their family, and you know they made a living here. You know, they made a family here, and you know they have a house. Alhamdulillah. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Never let it deter them. You know, there were moments, of course, where they would be sad or you know bad emotions. You know, maybe angry emotions, but in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, things turned out fine. You know, they got out of that situation uh, with their lives, thankfully, alhamdulillah, and they made a good living for themselves. You know, no, it may not be the richest living, may not be the most, you know, in some cases it's not the most fulfilling, but it is a living. You know, it's and it's the little moments that count. Man, I'm just spitting bars now. Uh, yeah, this is a little. It's kind of fun. I can't lie, doing this in public. Like I just see people walking by, and this is the second video I film in public. My first one was on my other channel, which I probably won't link. Maybe I will link it. I don't know. If people will start watching these videos and they actually ask about it, then I'll link it. But yeah. I was doing an assignment for my class. I decided I wanted to do more on this channel. So for my class, we're supposed to do some kind of project. It's a project management class, and we're supposed to pick our own project. And basically, we're supposed to uh, like uh, like pick a project and you know talk about it in a video, and then post it on the Google on the website. You know, kind of like Google Classroom, but it's not Google Classroom. And my project was starting some kind of online business, and it would be like where I talk to people, not talk to people, but like this, basically this channel, where I talk on videos about advice in life, and especially targeted towards young men, like you know my younger self. And yeah, that's the project I decided to do, and it makes me want to upload more on this channel and just do more with this one, more than my other one. Because my other one is more about like you know I haven't uploaded in a long time. You know, I always upload like probably once a year. Like it's more about like you know video games and you know like anime, shit like that. You know, things like that in nature. And it's like I like this stuff more. Just like talking to the camera. You know, even if it's like in public, it's like it's a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie, just a little bit. You know, I see people walking by. I see people I know. uh, when I was filming that video, I said hi to like 3 people. Um, yeah, I just want to upload more in this one, like just help people out. I think it's a fun thing and it's a good thing to be honest. Um, but yeah, that was my video. I think I'm gonna record that class video one more time, and then I'll look at them later and decide. Well, damn. And this I'll look at them later and decide which one I want to do. But yeah, till then, guys, take care, and yeah.